After wrapping up around 20 hours worth of Just Cause 4's story missions and having destructive fun blowing up basically all the things, I went back and read my review of Just Cause 3 from 2015. This, I thought, explains that deja vu sensation. With a few exceptions, that review will tell you everything you need to know about Just Cause 4's strengths. It's just as gloriously over the top and action movie stupid as the last one, but it doesn't really come with a must-have new idea to give it its own identity. If you're keeping track, this is now the 4th Latin tropical despot whom Rico Rodriguez, effectively the secret love child of Wolverine and a flying squirrel who was also a secret agent, has set out to depose. It's an almost completely twist-free story, and the dictator only shows up at the beginning and end. If I were a supervillain with a weather-controlling machine, I'd like to think I'd make more creative use of it. The new weather effects are cool to look at, but they're underused and weren't much fun to play around with when they were. It's not that there's nothing new under the tropical sun. For one, the map of the island of Solis feels just as expansive as Just Cause 3's Medici, without directly repeating it. Like a great filming location, you're never far from beaches, jungles, deserts, snowy mountains, and everything in between. Its urban areas are a tad on the bland side, but outside of that it checks all the boxes for what you'd want and expect in an open world game. Liberating that map has a new spin that resolves one of my chief complaints about Just Cause 3's repetitive propaganda-destroying missions. Almost all of the several dozen provinces have a real mission associated with it. Sure, you'll play most types more than once, but it's a significant step up in variety. I was disappointed by the Conquest map, though. All you really do here is say, yes, I took this over, after you've already done the mission to unlock the rewards, and the enemy never tries to take any territory back.
Here we go!
Those unlocks are mostly for the airdrops, which Just Cause 4 uses to indulge your every destructive and playful impulse. Want a tank? How about a fighter jet? No problem. All the military hardware you could ask for will literally fall from the sky. Instant gratification is a theme here, and it pays off in that Just Cause wastes no time in giving you access to your parachute, wingsuit, and grapple. Everything you need to wreak destruction anywhere on the island. Absurd as it is to pull off tricks like completely avoiding fall damage from any height by grappling the ground and pulling yourself toward it faster than you're already falling, it's a fantastic mode of travel that's unique to Just Cause. Using it involves an element of skill, too. One of the big new features of Just Cause 4 is the alternate grapple modes, but they're really more of a physics novelty toy than a gameplay innovation. I'm sure they'll spawn a million goofy gifs, but the attachable balloons and thrusters aren't really effective in combat, and they're rarely used in puzzles. The superpowered retractor, on the other hand, is still the ultimate weapon. You can instantly tie any two things in the world together and make them kiss until one or both dies or explodes. It's as hilarious as it is overpowered. That said, combat in Just Cause hasn't been about challenge in a good long while. Rico can absorb so much damage and heal so quickly that most of these battles aren't a question of whether you can defeat the army of mercenaries lined up against you, because of course you can. And though there's some decent enemy variety this time around, the AI is little more than a punching bag. But it's the moments when the enemy is throwing all its firepower at you when Just Cause 4 feels the most sensational. Across the board, just about every weapon has an alt-fire function that usually makes up for the lack of grenades or placed charges. Most guns come with something that's at least as destructive, and the sticky mine launcher fills that role nicely, though it is hard to come by. But I'd have loved to see Just Cause double down even more on destructibility than Just Cause 3 did, and it doesn't really. Just Cause 4 has everything you'd expect from a Just Cause game, almost to a fault. Relative to Just Cause 3, the improvements are widespread across its beautiful world, but generally minor. So while blowing up yet another dictator's army is the same kind of mindless explosive fun and physics-based comedy the series is built on, it doesn't do much to incorporate the new weather systems or grapple mods into combat. That leaves me with a distinct, more of the same feeling. For more on Just Cause 4, check out the first 20 minutes of gameplay, and stand by for a look at the performance on the console versions. And for everything else, stick with IGN.